Ladies and gentlemen, the future of the country is the face of their citizens. In order to be a developed country, developing country must develop in all any kind of segmentations. One of them that our country do into the cooperate with another country to help our country to solve the problem in our country. Cooperate with the foreign company to build their company in our country already happen in our country. The basic reason why the foreign company it's make our country is invest their country to make our build their foreign company in our country because of investitions. Before we go further, let's talk about what is developing country itself. Developing country is a country that underdeveloped country and want to be developed to be a developed country, right? Developing country is a country with a less developed industrial base and low human development index relative to the other country, right? Developing country don't have any specific skill industry that actually it's enough to them to develop their country, right? Developed country that we know that they have enough industry and also human development to running their country, so their country that we call is developed country right now. Let's see the Japan being the example of the developed country. Japan is one of the developed country that not just that take a look from the developed country, but also developed country take a look from the Japan to apply to copy their segmentation or their system from the Japan to apply in their country, right? Japan have a creditable worker citizen to work in the industrial country that already built by the government. So that's why the human development index is very important to develop the country, right? So let's talk about the developing country itself. Let's see worker from the developed country and the developing country itself. Let's we make some presentation. First, developed country. We see the worker for the developed country. First, they have big support from their country to support their knowledge and skill. Second, they have enough industry to employ their citizens to work. Third, they have enough place and program to from their government and develop their citizens to be a good worker. Fourth is the country itself already apply the value to do a work hard if you want to achieve something and do the best if you want to get the best. And the fifth is they have enough support and skill to develop in the country. Let's see the status quo in our country. Let's see the workers of the developed countries. Don't talk the foreigner. Let's talk about the citizen, the local worker of our country. First, the value to do hard work to gain something still doesn't access at the level of citizen itself. And the second is they're still lazy to do something. And the third is the government don't have enough to give the support for the worker. Right? Our country have not just enough, also more research in our country as a country. As the government itself, the government in our country right now, we see the status quo right now. The government cannot control. The government cannot produce the resources to be a product to be the product from the resources itself, right? So here we see like this is we as a government we must take advantage of our resources because of what? Because we know that Indonesia has big resources to developing our country, right? So here we see the motion right now is about the country should require foreign companies operating in this territory to have a minimum quota of foreign local workers. So here our stand today is we as a government we hardly say to the developed country or actually to our country Indonesia should require foreign companies operating in this territory to have a minimum quota of hiring the local worker because of what? Let's jump to my assumptions. First, right, it is to improve skill from our local workers. Why is it that? Because we know that the foreign company they have enough skill to build the companies not just in their country, but also they have enough skill to develop or build the company in our country, right? Our country need a foreign company because of what? Because they need investations and also in the transfer technology from the foreign company, right? Let's give them an example. First, the Salsabil is the company from the French, right? The Salsabil itself is one of the foreign oil company in our country. They're running their industry to take a look in our country because of what? Because they know that the research of Indonesia, our country, also support the company to run in our country, right? And we see, right, the motion of today is about the minimum quota of hiring the local workers. We know that every company need a best worker. Every company need a worker that is creditable on their company, right? We see right now the foreign company need a best worker. They already, if they want to investing in their company to another country, they need a good worker to work in our country, right? So they want to take maybe all of the citizens from their French itself to go to Indonesia to work in the Salsabil in the French itself, right? But we know that is infestation. This is investment, right? So we believe that if the foreign company want to stand the foreign company in our country, they must give a minimum quota for the local country, for the local worker, because of what? Because they invest in our country, so they have to do all of the agreement that made before by the government, right? So we know that our country, our citizen doesn't have enough quota doesn't have enough skill, that is a creditable skill to do in the government country, right? So here we believe that if the company itself give a minimum quota to hiring a local worker, it will give the support of our country. It will increase the skill of our country, of the citizen as well. Because of what? Because here we as a government, we hardly say to the government for Indonesia, for our developing country, to make an agreement from the developing country to make a minimum quota of hiring the local worker. Because of what? Because the company itself want to invest in our country, right? They want to gain. They got a lot of resources. They already take advantage from resources of our country to running their company, right? Right. So here we as the government, we hardly say to the government, we must make an agreement for all company in our country to give a minimum quota of hiring the local workers, right? So it is talk about the investment, like I said before in the first. If they want to invest on, if they want to build a company in a country, also here we as Indonesia, we already get an investor. We get a lot of money because of they build the company in the country, right? But here we know that the researchers of to running their company is also used for our country, right? So we believe that if the researcher is very important to our country, to build our country to be a developed country, right? So here we as a government, we have to say the government must make an agreement to give a minimum quota for hiring local worker. Because of what? Because it's not just one side of position. We must make both of side of position. So we same hardly to take advantage from the other side. So we believe that because our country don't have any specific or creditable to the worker, we as government, we must take we adopt the system. We must adopt the education. We must adopt the skill from other country. So because of the maybe at first we want to recruit a foreign country, but in the future we can build our company and make our company the work of company is from the local worker of our nature. So here we as government, we open this case.